Nutrition, we decided to roll out the Sports Olympic Nutrition Plan for all the probable athletes out there who can represent their country and go on to winning an Olympic medal. Now, the dream starts not when you're an elite national athlete. The dream starts when you're in your younger ages. If I'm talking to a parent out there, then you know what I am conveying to you, which is you need to invest the best possible chance for your child to succeed. When you invest in a sports nutrition plan, you should be asking the nutritionist a few questions like, what's your background as a sports nutritionist? How many athletes have you worked with? Are there any results you're able to prove? Are there any testimonials available? And what sort of work will you capture when you work with the athlete? As a sports nutritionist myself, I encourage my entire team to work closely with the athlete to the extent of even visiting you in your playing arena and understanding your breathing rate, understanding your sweat rates, understanding your lactate threshold. All of these are important, but more importantly than anything else is the sports nutrition plan able to get you the desired result of winning an Olympic medal? Now, how does this investment work? A sports nutrition plan is designed to help get a scientific balance to the food that your child is eating. A sports nutrition plan is designed to look at the blood testing that is required, which will enable us to understand how the child's physiology is working. Even if your child is 8 years of age or 18 years of age, every time we do a blood test, it gives us a benchmark on whether the food, the nutrition, or the supplements that we are recommending are working for your child. The Olympic Nutrition Plan prides itself on the sophistication of the blood tests, the genetic tests, the assessments, the diet plans, the competition and travel guidelines, and finally the power breath. So I'd like to walk you quickly through the whole thing. And if you see over here, we take the height and you have a tracking record of the height as it goes forward. We have the weight, so weight of an athlete keeps changing. The fat percentage, so important in terms of knowing the muscle to fat percentage. And if you can see over here, the subcutaneous fat, we not only take it from an overall body fat percentage, but we look at it in the trunk, the arms, the legs. Not only that, the skeletal muscle or the muscle required by the athlete in terms of the trunk, arms and legs. Now this is an assessment, but it's taken consistently over 12 months. So this gives us a track record whether the nutrition plan is actually able to morph or physically change this athlete's body. Now, as we go forward, we capture things like activity factor, medical conditions, surgery details, the family history, how often does the child or the athlete get a cold. We go to symptoms. And symptoms is so important because if we can discover what is really a medical issue irritating an athlete, for example, if somebody has an irritable bowel syndrome, we can figure out why nutrition is not being better absorbed. In the dietary recall, we go into the cultures, we find out what foods you like, and we go into a phenomenal amount of detail, okay? Foods liked, foods disliked, favorite foods, the supplements that you take, whether, how much of water you're drinking, what are the supplements that the athlete is consuming, okay? What are the medications, if any, because we need to know if there are any medications for any injury or asthmatic conditions or etc. that are there. And one sophistication we pride ourselves in the Olympic and even in the basic sports nutrition package is this. We customize the nutrition plan for your athlete, which means the weekday, Monday to Saturday, what's the wake time, what's the bedtime, what's the weekend time, what's the wake up time on the weekend, and Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and as you go over here, as you can see, what is the gym session, so this athlete's a swimmer over here, when's the swimming session in the morning and in the evening, and then how is the school schedule? So if your child goes to school, what's the schedule going to be like, when is lunch going to happen, what's breakfast like after the gym? Then we calculate what is the things that is being catered from home. For example, over here, sometimes there's rolls, sometimes there's pasta, sometimes there's roti, sometimes there's veg rice, so we get into the sophistication of a nutrition planning. And I don't think anybody on the planet does this level of in-depth assessment analysis only on the diet parameters. And then from there, what we do is we go into the blood parameters, which I discussed earlier, and we capture all the blood test parameters in this. And the blood tests give you a crystal ball gazing into the physiological health of the athlete. Now, once we do all of this, we then get into what we call as an assessment analysis. Now, if you see the screen over here of an athlete that's been with us over 2 years, check this out. I've got skeletal muscle in his body as it keeps going up and down. So where the peaks were and how was the nutrition in the Olympic plan at that point of time, and how the fat percentage has dropped or increased, or how his arms have gotten stronger, or his percentage of fat, how it is wavered over a 2-year period. All of this assessment analysis finally gets into the nutrition diet planning. And if you see over here, the sophistication is on Monday, if I have a 3000 calorie goal over here, what percentage of protein, what percentage of carb, and what percentage of fat, and I plan it, and my entire calculator will give me a mathematical supremacy on how to plan a chart. For example, take over here at breakfast time, okay? At breakfast, what we're giving him is we're giving him low-fat milk, water, a protein powder, and some cranberries. Look at the ratio of percentage of protein, carbs, and fat. I control it for the meal and for the entire day. This is the Olympic sophistication required, not when you're winning the medal, but on the journey to preparing the medal. So this component is married into the sophistication of the Olympic plan. In addition to this, we do the power breath. The power breath is a lung capacity assessment test. So as a nutritionist, I control protein, carbs, fats, vitamins, minerals, water. What about air? So the power breathe is a mechanical device that we have at our clinics which can measure your power breathe. The Olympic plan also has the guidelines to work with not only blood testing but also genetic testing. Now, genetic testing will come from the perspective of we would be analyzing the power and endurance gene, okay? And when we know the ratio of power to endurance, we would also be looking at the dotted line, which would actually be the international potential of this athlete. Now, a lot of people come to me and say that, hey, you know what, why should I do a genetic test? Is it really important? And there are a lot of studies out there saying that you shouldn't do a genetic test because it's an overall development. The whole philosophy over here of doing the genetic test is to know from a perspective on how should I balance my nutrition based on the way my body is absorbing it. So in a nutshell, what is a gene? There are 23,000 genes. A gene is like the software in your body. It codes for different absorptions or assimilations or production. So let's say when I take a vitamin C based gene. Now if your gene absorbs well, it will improve or take vitamin C at the highest level. However, if the gene is not working very well, then vitamin C would be lesser absorbed, and me or my team as the nutritionist has to work on enhancing the vitamin C that would come from the diet or supplementation. Now this gives us a strategic direction. If you knew that your child had a vitamin C deficient receptor or enhanced receptor, the nutrition plan is very, very proactive. It's not reactive. So in the olden days, we as nutritionists worked on a reactive philosophy, which was we counseled you, we gave you a nutrition plan, you went out, you ate, you practiced, you played, you came back, you told us how you feel, you told us how your result was. In this, it's all forward planning. So the genetic plan will not only work with the nutrition genes, it will work with which types of exercise work for you, whether it's endurance, whether it's power, whether your aerobic capacity is low, whether it is high. We also look at the injury gene. We analyze 9 genes in injury, all right? And we tell, do you have a high potential for injury or a low potential for injury? Now, imagine if I knew a kid had a moderate or high injury potential. I as a nutritionist would be working to enhancing the diet from a hydration perspective, from an omega-3 perspective, from an amino acid perspective. Now all of this, when communicated to you, the family and the child, will get to an Olympic level of sophistication. Now you want that from day one. You don't want that when you're a national champion. You want that when your child is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age. You don't want it when your child is 19, 20 years of age. So the perspective of the injury gene, or for that matter, the recovery gene. Like, I love the recovery gene that is there in my report. Okay, the recovery gene actually tells me whether the kid recovers quickly from that practice or from that match. This is a gold mine of an information, and as a nutritionist, when I have this information, the diet or the nutrition post the game or the training is so important in terms of how I balance the protein and the carb ratio, not to mention if I need to add more amino acids, or how quickly or how important it is for us to add that amount of nutrition quickly to help in recovery. In addition to this, we look at gluten sensitivity. Now, gluten is a protein found in wheat, barley and rye. One of the world's famous tennis players, the world number one Djokovic, has a gluten allergy. He discovered it via DNA testing. We have brought this to you in India. Imagine if you know that you can't eat gluten, then you are not recovering well enough. Your gut is compromised in terms of having inflamed reactions. You don't see this, you don't see it in a blood test, but you want your body to work at optimum efficiency. If you do work at optimum efficiency, I think that's where the gluten discovery really works well. Not to mention lactase. Lactase is coming from milk. We also do the milk DNA testing. Now, when we put all of this in a bundle together with the blood testing, coupled with our proprietary software, competition guidelines. Now, when you travel to a location, you might not get the requisite food, but we as nutritionists understand the location, could give you some example of a guidance of what you need to be finding out in that place, or what can you carry in your travel kit. In fact, a lot of people laugh at us saying that, Ryan, when you give us an advice on an Olympic plan, actually our weight actually increases in addition to the sporting kit, because you ask us to carry so many of these foods. But that's what you need to become an Olympian. So we give you that competition advice, the travel guidelines. Now, finally, why this program is one of the best in the world is the supplement guidance strategy. The supplements that we recommend come from a balance of WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency. We analyze the products that are available globally, which are safe for you to consume without getting under the doping offense. So whatever vitamins, minerals, proteins or foods we recommend, which will come in powder or pill form, will have absolutely no taint of a steroid. This is the biggest concern of all coaches and all parents. This is our guarantee to you that you would have one of the best supplement guidance strategies in the world, which will not only enhance performance, which will help in recovery, but is also not coming in the banned list of substances. All in all, I would say, since I am also a dad, I would buy the best nutrition plan for my son. I would look at investing in understanding all of these things and work with the nutritionist to slowly change my behavioral habits, which are cultural, to very scientific. The only promise that we at Quant Nutrition can give you is that if you, that is your child, wins an Olympic medal, from Quant Nutrition, we promise to refund every pie of the investment that you've made over the years towards nutrition, because we believe at Quant Nutrition what we do actually gets us Olympic medals, and we have done that. So I'm looking forward to you probably taking this big leap of faith with us and investing a phenomenal sum of money on your child in procuring an Olympic plan, so that hopefully we together can win a medal. If you like what you've heard, then you might want to get in touch with our team. You can reach me at ryan@quantnutrition.com. You can call us at 08032329292. If you're an international athlete, you can call us at +91 974343 0000, or you can just contact us via our website, which has an appointment booking form. So it's www.quantnutrition.com. The Olympic plan is one of the best sports nutrition plans in the world, and I can promise you with a money back guarantee that if you win an Olympic or an international world medal, we will refund the entire cost of the program that you have invested in us. So I look forward to receiving your email or call, because I know that if you're watching this, you're already having the athlete who wants to win the Olympic medal in you. Good luck.